Disclaimer, my readings are not for the faint of heart. Must have thick skin.
Hey you guys, it's that time. Pick a story where in one of the decks or all of the decks could be a story or a message for you. So I'm going to hold each deck up to the camera for you to see if it's resonating with you, starting with deck number 1. Could your story or message be here in deck number 1? Or is it in deck number 2? Could your story or message be here in deck number 2? Or is it in deck number 3? Could your story or message be here in deck number 3? All right, so I hope you guys have made your selection, and we'll go ahead and begin with deck number 1. All right, so you have the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Devil, the Empress, Judgment, overall energy, the Page of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. All right, so overall energies, I feel like you could be dealing with either multiple people, like there are several people in your energy rather coming forward, or maybe it's the same person just kind of like approaching you in different ways. It could either be an earth sign, an air sign, or a water sign. And it does indicate that maybe you are feeling desired by someone. So in a love situation, it definitely seems like, you know, there are people who are interested in you, people who are observing you from a distance. And I feel like this person is maybe strategizing on how they're going to approach you. One of these energies is coming off as immature. If they're not immature, they could be younger, or it could also represent this person maybe not having enough, especially financially. And then I feel like you are here trying to figure out what it is that you're needing in a relationship. And maybe you're just kind of looking at all the qualities that these people have, or maybe you're not even really interested in anybody, but just it has you thinking. Something has you thinking about, like, well, if I were to be in a relationship, what do I think I need? What would be most in alignment with my life or my lifestyle? And so, yeah, it just kind of seems like you're putting a lot of thought into relationships, or at least who these contenders would be. You definitely seem to want to have someone or make a decision based off of practicality. I feel like you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time and energy on anybody. So I kind of feel like, you know, you are taking that assessment where you're really trying to, you know, look at the prospects that you have, and, you know, try to figure out who's going to bring value to your life. Like I said, I feel like you don't want to waste your time on anybody that's unable to bring value into your life. Now, you may have someone who is coming off very obsessive. Maybe there is someone in your life that is being very intense. Someone definitely seems to be wanting to claim their territory with you and are probably being very possessive. I feel like someone is also maybe trying to crowd your space so that you don't have room for anybody but them. If you're already in an established relationship, you might find that this person is very codependent, very clingy, and just very needy in a sense. Like maybe this person feels like they need to be around you at all times or need to know about your whereabouts. So it could be a little bit draining, in regards to this person. And there's also something that is very lustful about this connection. So it seems like, there is someone who, between the both of you, could be bringing out like this very animalistic side. So yeah, I was saying that you could be bringing out of each other some sort of primal energy. So it's like this person is maybe like a manifestation of your shadow self or your primal self, where there is like a lot of, physical desire manifesting here. And it does seem like it's talking about materialism and things that deal with the physical realm. So a connection that you're having, it could potentially be surface, or maybe it starts off kind of surface, not saying that it can't get deep. I will say on a positive note that, in a sense, maybe it's meant to ground you. Maybe you needed some sort of grounding. Maybe you needed, some sort of reality check. And that is what this person is representing. Helping you to realize that maybe you've been too spaced out. Or had lost touch with reality in some sense. So yeah, I kind of feel like, that there was a need to tap into the lower realm of yourself, or that lower chakra. Maybe it does need activating. And then 2 here is kind of like talking about something from your past needing to be addressed. Like something needs to be revisited. Maybe this is also an opportunity for you to see if you have learned from past mistakes. Maybe something is being brought to your attention to see how you're going to handle it again. And the universe could be like, remember you said if this happens again, this is what you're going to do, or this is what you're not going to do. So I kind of feel like either way you could be dealing with some sort of past issue that needs to be resolved for yourself. Now, if this is not like a love situation, I feel like what could be going on is it still seems like a hyperfixation on materialism. Maybe you are needing material wealth, finances, things, stuff. Maybe same thing. You've been fixated on spirituality and healing, and finding inner peace and things of that nature. And then it's kind of like, hey, inner peace is not paying the bills. So you are having to maybe in a sense conform, or you feel restricted in a sense, or like a slave to materialism, because it would be lovely to just, spend all day meditating or reading, or, becoming knowledgeable. And some people can do that. But if you are one of those people that can't afford to do that, you got to pay the bills, then this could be talking about where your focus is going to shift to. Your focus is getting ready to shift towards material things because you need them. You need comfort. You don't want to be homeless, so you've got to make enough money to find, comfort, whether it's a home or an apartment, a car, money for vacations, whatever it is. I feel like your focus is going to shift to material things. Venus and Saturn are very much so about those things. And that I feel like is being highlighted in your birth chart. So I would look and see where Venus is sitting and where Capricorn is sitting, because those two areas in your life, I feel like you are needing to focus on it. And it's still like having to deal with the past situation. Oh shoot, I forgot to set my timer. It's still like having to deal with like some sort of past situation. And maybe too, this is something that you've been needing to do. Maybe you had forgotten about something, or you put something on a back burner. And this is like, okay, time for you to get back to this. Time for you to focus on that thing that you put on a back burner. This is unresolved. So I feel like you're needing to have closure in maybe the material area of your life. Maybe the material area of your life is very unfinished, and just kind of like thirsty or needing fulfillment. And so there's a need for you to focus on that. Something I was getting ready to say here. Business. Yeah. All right. So this, you might be considering starting your own business or rebranding your own business, because this is also about your independence. So I feel like the Empress loves her independence. She loves being able to take care of herself. She likes to splurge, and she just does not like to be told what to do. She does like to nurture, but I feel like this is more so about nurturing herself and nurturing her material needs. It's like, okay, this is what I'm needing here. I need to indulge in XYZ. So this would be good energy for if you're wanting to return to working for yourself. There is still some form of restriction happening. So there's an energy of being able to do what you love, as well as maybe feeling like you have to do something. Yeah, it's kind of like I love what I do, but at the same time, I feel like I have to do this. So there's a little mixed energy there. All right. Let's look into this Knight of Cups here. So in a love situation, definitely seems like there is someone who is offering their cup. Someone who is wanting to get to know you, is trying to show you a side of themselves that is loving or romantic or vulnerable. If you're in an established relationship, this can still be like your partner wanting to date again. It's like, we need to date again. We need to do romantic things. We need to do things that are going to, feed into each other's lust. So I kind of feel like there's definitely still, romance coming towards you. Now, something feels like maybe you don't talk to this person anymore, or like something was on off until you decided to cut it off. It seems like there is someone that's also been trying to get your attention. I do see another situation where it feels like this is from the perspective of a person that you're dealing with. The reason why someone was on and off with you is because they were in a relationship or still has some unfinished business with somebody. I feel like they were not fully broken up and we're still dealing with somebody. And so once this person has decided that they want to focus on you, I feel like they break up with the other individual. But even if this person is approaching you, I feel like you're not sure that you want to get involved with them. I feel like someone is also, you might find someone very attractive. I feel like you like the texture of their hair, whether it's locks or whether it's like the length of their hair, or if it's the texture, if it's like a soft curly texture. I feel like whatever it is, like you really like this person's hair and you're attracted to them. Now, again, it looks like you're being observed by somebody, but it also looks like this person is admiring you and really realizing how valuable you are, and they seem a little obsessed with you. So I kind of feel like someone is definitely obsessing from a distance, and this person is trying to figure out how they're going to claim you. I don't know, too, if there's anybody that you've been declining their love or ignoring them. I don't know if it's all the potential love suitors that you have, or if it's just this one in particular, but there's obsession and somebody just feeling like, I got to have them. I've got to claim this person. I have to make this person mine. I feel like if this is also a long distance connection, I feel like someone is so obsessed that they're willing to like uproot where they are to be with you. They're like, I have to be closer to them. So if somebody lives at a distance, this person is seriously considering relocating for you. I heard the name Don for somebody. Now, someone also might be into tribal body manipulation, where it's either tribal tattoos or piercings that, the piercings where it's like a big hole in the ear, or piercings where they, it's a nose ring, but it's like the septum. I feel like I always say it wrong. That looks like the little bar attached to the nose. I feel like they're kind of into that. And I also feel like a man used to actually be an exotic dancer. So whoever is pursuing you, I feel like you have your guards up. I feel like you have definitely set some sort of boundaries in place. And I feel like you're not allowing someone to get near you. Yeah, I kind of feel like you're like, no. Like you don't trust this person. I feel like you are needing this person to really prove themselves to you. Even if you're trying to block this person, is so much intensity coming through that I feel like this person is not going to leave you alone. Somebody is adamant about connecting with you or fulfilling some sort of destiny with you. And it could be because it is destiny. Maybe someone is feeling indebted to you, and it could be coming from a previous life. I'm also getting heavy sexual energies, like someone being into S&M, bondage, even if it's not physical bondage, it could be mental bondage. Somebody is maybe wanting to be devoted to you. And it could be that you want to be devoted to somebody. Whoever is in their feminine nature is playing hard to get. I feel like someone is, very closed off when it comes to being pursued by this person. So if this is your energy, I just feel like you're being very distant. This person might also come off distant towards you at times in response to how you're treating them, but they don't really feel that way. This person is really obsessed. In regards to business, I feel like you're exploring certain business ideas, but it also feels like you're dealing with blockages. I feel like you're not able to do things like you want to do. All right, so I feel that something is part of your destiny, and it seems like there's this opportunity that is coming back around. Something seems like second coming of something, like this is the second coming. How something is going to turn out, or the outcome of a situation, like if you're trying to find out, like, will we end up together? Will I end up with this job? Will I end up making money? Whatever it is that you're questioning, it seems like something is still up in the air. Like it hasn't been decided yet, or because it depends on certain actions that you take before an outcome can be formed, it just seems like it's too early to say. We don't know yet. Depends on how things keep playing out. You need to continuously make decisions, because I feel like your decisions are shifting the outcome. So this might be one of those situations where, like, okay, this part has to do with free will. It's like destiny, but at the same time, you're creating your destiny. This is the part where it's just like, okay, you get to decide where you want your life to go in this direction, whether it's pertaining to love, career, business, moving. This is something that's up to you. But definitely seems like it could have to do with like a love connection and the opportunity being there for you to decide if you want to move forward with somebody or not. All right, so moving on to deck number 2. So you have the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the Moon, the Fool, Justice, overall energy, the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. All right, so overall energies, I feel like you are wanting to be at peace with the situation. You could be enjoying some sort of emotional fulfillment. It seems like you also have, big hopes and dreams that you're wanting to work towards. And you also could be doing a lot of daydreaming or fantasizing about the life that you want. In regards to a relationship or a love situation, okay, it looks like for one, there is someone that has claimed you. There also could be a need to protect your union, protect the relationship, to preserve it. Maybe there's something going on where the relationship got disrupted in a sense, and this is about having to protect that relationship. Your partner could be coming off very jealous and, maybe wanting you to set boundaries with certain people, or maybe you feel that way towards your partner. So there's also some sort of boundary setting when it comes to relationships. Another thing I'm seeing is that maybe you're single and you have your guards up. Or at least that's how you were in the past. Like you were very guarded. You had intentionally set the bar very high. So in order to protect yourself, to protect your heart. And so maybe you've been trying to isolate yourself or hide or prevent yourself from falling in love and having these feelings. But it does look like there's a possibility that you're going to let your guards down and end up falling in love. It definitely seems that, people are willing to work together to resolve any type of issues, any type of underlying issues that were in a relationship. So whether this is a new relationship or an established one, I kind of feel like people are wanting to fix the problems. And it does seem like there is clarity about, how to move forward. It's like, okay, this is what we need to do as a couple, or this is what I need for security. And I feel like there's open and honest conversations being had in a relationship. And people are actually, speaking from the heart and speaking about things that they truly feel like they need. You still are likely to deal with some sort of emotional triggers. That may be something that is needing to be healed. Maybe that is the purpose of this connection or relationship that you're having, is so that you can purge these emotional wounds and heal them. You're needing to acknowledge them. You could find yourself being very just emotional and feeling overwhelmed. It's like, even though something is being fixed, it's still revealing sensitive areas. You might initially want to run or detach the minute you start to feel very emotional about somebody. Or maybe this is how they come off to you. The minute someone starts to feel too vulnerable in a relationship, they detach and run. I feel like you are like coming off like, I don't need anything, or I don't need anybody. I just want to be independent, or I don't want to have any labels. Like, something's going on where I feel like there's a little bit of a struggle when it comes to defining a relationship or what you want in a relationship. You might be trying to escape from something, but I feel like justice is indicating that this is a contract. It's like, okay, this is a contract. This is some sort of debt that needs to be repaid. Good or bad. It really feels like more of a good debt though. Like receiving an accumulation of all the good things that you've done. But I just kind of feel like, because there's so many buried emotions that you're still navigating, you want to detach or run from it. I feel like you're also trying to make sure that you're being very diplomatic in your decisions. I feel like you're wanting to look at a situation from all sides before you come up with your final decision. Now, this could also be something going on in your work situation. Whereas maybe you are trying to figure out, do you want to work at this company? Or maybe you've already agreed to working at this company and you're having to fulfill this contract. You're like, okay, I made this agreement. I start working on this date. And something will be kind of like a learning experience to you. If this is talking about work for whatever reason, something about it is very emotional for you. Work is bringing out so many emotions. I don't know if it's because of the people that you work with, or if it's because of what you're doing. Maybe the things that you're doing makes you very emotional. Maybe you work with families, and something about working with families is making you think about your own, or making you think about the things that you didn't get to have, or maybe you miss family that's not here anymore. And it just seems like something about work is making you really emotional. But it's like you're trying not to be that way. I feel like you are like, let me detach. Let me just like get the job done and not allow myself to get carried away with my emotions at this job. And it could just be like an emotional moment that you have at work. Like something happens at work that makes you really emotional, and then you just have to, like, go to the bathroom or go outside and get yourself together so that you can get the job done. I feel like you are going back and forth with decisions. There's something going on where you're trying to figure out exactly what it is that you're needing to do. You're like, okay, if I do this, then that means that I have to do that, or that this will happen. And so in a sense, you're also maybe having to be strategic in whatever this decision is about work. Maybe you're also asking for some sort of guidance or assistance when it comes to work. Yeah, maybe you're asking for other opinions. You're like, okay, I need a second opinion. I need to make sure that what I'm doing is for my highest good or for the best or what have you. Now, this can also be kind of like building your imagination. So something starts off as a dream. You're like, oh, I had this amazing idea. Or I have this dream that I want to fulfill. I've always wanted to do this, or I've always wanted to do that. And I feel like whatever this dream is, you are trying to work towards it. You're maybe putting things down on paper to help you figure out how are you going to, like, really make it happen. And it helps because a lot of times you get so caught up in your head, you think about something for months and months, and it's like, okay, let me actually put something down on paper. Let me actually go get a business license, or let me actually do whatever it is. I feel like now you're actually taking physical steps towards making some sort of dream come true. And it could be starting your own business, but it also could be anything that is a dream of yours. You want to make it happen. There will be moments that maybe you feel insecure and start to have doubts about what it is that you're doing. You're like, I don't know, maybe it's not really meant for me to do this. Or, maybe I'm thinking too ahead of myself, or, whatever the case. I feel like these are old emotions that you need to deal with and learn how to conquer that fear. These are emotional fears that can hold you back. And you also might want to refrain from too many what if scenarios and just worry about crossing that bridge when you get to it. It's like, don't worry about every single detail. That's gonna stagnate your growth, or just allow more time to go past before you actually fulfill some sort of dream. Oh God. Yeah. So you also cannot be worried about what people are going to say to you. This is about you having to have no fear and walk to the beat of your own drum. And people might see you as being out there or unusual. But it seems like you're getting ready to take some sort of a risk. And you're open to taking some sort of an adventure. You also could be extremely nervous and emotional because you know that what you're getting ready to do requires a big risk. And you're like, I'm so nervous about doing this. What if I fail? What if it looks good in my imagination, but you know, in reality, I hit rock bottom. So whatever it is, I feel like you're still getting ready to risk it all. You're like, I'm gonna go ahead and risk you know, my chances in hopes that my dreams will come true. It looks like you are stepping into an agreement. You also might make some sort of a brash decision. It's like you're thinking about it or looking at it from all angles, but at the same time you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Let's go before I change my mind. And you decide that you're gonna do something, or you agree to something on a whim. It also could be about some sort of opportunity that seems like it just comes out the blue, and you're like, oh my God, this opportunity came out of nowhere. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say yes to it. I'm gonna agree to it. So you definitely could be just like agreeing to something because it just seems like so once in a lifetime. I see you also just kind of stepping out of your comfort zone. Yeah, this is just something that you're needing to do anyway. It's just like step outside of your comfort zone. And then going back to a love situation, again, it seems like this is something that is like a contract, something that you guys agreed to before you even came here in the 3D realm. And now you're just kind of like, okay, this is what we came to do. This is the lesson that I agreed to learn, or the experience that I agreed to have. And it does more so feel like an experience than a lesson. So this is all for experience. It's like, you know, why do you try a new drug? It's like because you want to experience it. You're like, okay, I want to experience this. So I feel like something is like a trip. And maybe that's a scary comparison, but it almost does seem like maybe a relationship that you're entering is going to be like an acid trip. It's almost like you're leaving your body. You're not even there. It's something about it is very unreal. But I do feel that whatever it is that you're doing is also bringing balance to your life. And it seems like karma is being balanced. Also, if you had been very judgmental towards other people or towards someone, it's like now you're in that situation and you're experiencing a situation that you judged at one point. You might call somebody out on their BS. It also looks like something about the fantasy that you want to live out is like taboo. Especially if you are like a female with two guys. Not necessarily a threesome, but just like, you know, some sort of open or a poly type relationship where there's arrangements and there's some sort of structure. It's like people are talking about like, okay, if it's going to be like this, then this is what I think is going to keep the peace in this relationship. And it's kind of like everybody is having to agree to a certain set of rules. Now I know that's not for everybody, but for somebody, I feel like they're having some sort of polyamorous experience. So I'm also seeing any relationship that had issues is being worked on. People are having conversations and making agreements that will bring peace in a relationship. There is still something a little deceptive happening though. I don't know if you are trying to secretly get away with something or the person that you're dealing with is trying to do that. Also, something's going on in regards to a part-time job. I don't know if someone is doing something that they shouldn't be doing at work, but they're trying to get away with it. It could be a situation where somebody's trying to talk to two people at work without getting caught. You are also having to set boundaries with people. Yeah, I feel like you're having to speak about something and you're standing on your word. You're like, no, like this is what I said and I meant it. So I feel like you're being very adamant about something that you are wanting. You're not willing to compromise on something. I see compromise in the cards, but I also see this one thing that you're like, no, this is a deal breaker, or this is something that I will not compromise on, and you're sticking to it. So I'm also seeing a situation where you might be blocking your blessings. The universe is trying to give you something that you asked for, and you're trying to block it. Maybe because you don't have clarity or understanding of it just yet. Or maybe you do, and you're just like, no, universe. And the universe is like, trust me. And you're like, I don't trust you. So yeah, I kind of feel like the universe is trying to give you something that you just don't trust. I feel like you are like, I did not ask for this, and the universe is like, you kind of did. Maybe you are needing to revise your prayer, or your, your vision board. Like maybe something needs to be revised. So it seems like something also could have been revealed to you in a dream. And it seems like you're experiencing some high level emotions. You might find yourself having some sort of anxiety attack, or you just feel like, oh my God, my anxiety is through the roof. Yeah, something definitely is like an emotional trigger for you. And I feel like you're going to want to run. When this happens, you're like, oh, let me go in the opposite direction. You might realize that you have some sort of telepathic connection with another person as well. And whoever is in your life, whether it's romantic or not, is meant to be like this mirror. They're holding up a mirror for you. They're like, look at what's hurting you, or look at what you're running from. You could experience some kind of love at first sight, to the point where you just are like, this isn't real, this can't be real. It just feels too heavy and too intense. From a spiritual perspective, I feel like you're kind of coming into some sort of gift, and maybe it's initially very scary for you to deal with or to process. Somebody also is really clueless about what they did. And you may need to tell them what they did. So I feel like there needs to be forgiveness between two people. But like I said, somebody really doesn't know what they did. They don't know that they did something wrong. Either you don't realize that you did something wrong, or this person doesn't realize that they did something wrong. And there's a need to just like have some sort of open dialogue about what happened. Yeah, I kind of feel like somebody is like, you should read my mind, or you should know better, or you should know XYZ. But this person is like, but what did I do? This is what I know. Either you are coming off as a free spirit, or you view someone else as being very free spirited. You are also likely needing to hold yourself accountable for something that you said or did. And maybe you're not wanting to. Maybe you don't want to look in the mirror. I feel like there also could be some sort of denial, or like you are so annoyed or disgusted or disassociated with someone whose actions you don't agree with. And then somebody is like, oh, what, they're just echoing you, or, they're mirroring something that you're dealing with internally. And you're like, no, they're not. You know, that's nothing like me, or I would never do that, or blah, blah, blah. I still feel like this is saying, like, hey, look at it from a different perspective, because somehow this is a mirror for you. They are trying to bring something to your attention. You are needing to figure out why you want to run from this person, or why you are triggered by this person. So I kind of feel like you are needing to acknowledge whatever it is that you're in denial about, including too if this is a family situation or a work situation. Something has made you very emotional, and you need to really figure out why, or understand why. Because even like your job can be a manifestation of how you're feeling. Let's say you work this new job and it's just super intense, and you're just like, oh, you know, I hate this job. You know, nobody's listening to me. It's so intense, blah, blah, blah. Like, maybe you're ignoring something within you. Maybe that's yourself saying, hey, you're too intense. You need to relax. You need to pay attention to yourself and do things that you want. You know, so it still can, in a sense, be a manifestation of what's going on inside of you. I always think about as within, so without. All right, so like I was saying about the debt, or like the karma that could be good or bad, there definitely could be some parts of this connection, if this is a love situation, that you're wanting to avoid, because you're like, no, like, I don't want to be in that type of situation. I don't want to have that type of karma. It just still seems like there is some sort of karmic attachment to a relationship that you're having or will be having. There's something taboo about it. I feel like you're just not going to want to deal with it. I feel like maybe you're going to try and figure out how can you resolve this karma without necessarily having to, you know, maybe be attached to this person. I feel like you're like, okay, well, how is there a way I can avoid this? And I do have like a theory that sometimes karmas can continue to be fulfilled through dreams. So I don't know if that's something that you're hoping, that you're like, maybe this is just a karma that can be fulfilled through a dream, as opposed through, or a series of dreams, rather than having to actually physically deal with the person. So yeah, it seems like there could be something going on where you're like, I don't want any more karmic situations. Or you're just like, I just want the good. I don't want the bad. And it just seems like you're afraid of something. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to deck number 3. All right, so you have the 8 of Pentacles, Judgment, Strength, 9 of Wands, the Tower, Overall energy, 5 of Swords, 10 of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. All right. So I feel like initially something happened where you had gotten out of your comfort zone and you were able to enjoy yourself, and maybe you were having a good time emotionally. You just felt good. Maybe initially you felt like you had some sort of stability in the home or peace within your home or with family or in a relationship. But now I feel like you could be dealing with some sort of conflict and some sort of frustrations. It's possible that some sort of honeymoon phase has ended and it's kind of been difficult moving forward. Maybe a relationship started off just very loving, and now all of a sudden you guys are distant, and it's just like, I don't know what I saw in this person, or this person's annoying, or I don't like the way they communicate. Or maybe initially you were in love with your job and now you're just like, I hate this job. Like, it's so toxic there. The environment there is annoying. I don't like my supervisors. So whatever it is, I feel like you were in love at first and now you're just annoyed and you're frustrated. And maybe you're dealing with some sort of blockages. So there's going to be a need for you to, in a sense, go back to the drawing board. I feel like there's something going on where you're like, okay, where did I go wrong? Whether you went wrong in a relationship or, a place that you were living. And I feel like you're trying to find a better formula to making something better. You're like, I need to fix this. I need to find a way to transmute this energy. And so I kind of feel like there's going to be some sort of a transformation taking place. If you are dealing with frustrations in a relationship, you might be finding ways to distract yourself or kind of put the negative energy into something positive. So again, just like you're transmuting a negative situation into something positive. If you're having a bad experience in your home life, I feel like, you know what, I hate this home, or, this kitchen annoys me, or this paint color annoys me. And I feel like whatever's going on that's frustrating you, you're fixing it. You're like, you know what, maybe I can move the furniture around so to have better feng shui. Maybe I can paint it and, it'll give a better feeling when I open the door and come home. Like something's happening where you're trying to work with a situation and make it better. It also seems like if plan A failed, you're moving on to plan B. You could be going back to a passion project. I feel like you're also being guided by spirit. And then too, I feel like wherever you're headed requires you to have courage or strength. You likely had to go through some sort of blockages or difficult times only to be rebuilt stronger. Like something had to give you strength, or something has given you character. In a relationship situation, I kind of feel like maybe you did something that you regret. I feel like something happened in a relationship or in regards to a connection you had. And now you are coming off as guarded or defensive. And maybe someone's been calling you or reaching out to you, and you're just kind of like invested in yourself. You're like, no, I'm just going to focus on me. And maybe you don't want to come off as vulnerable, but it seems like you are not trusting someone and you want somebody to get away. It looks like you're trying to escape a situation and you get backed into a corner and find out there is no place to go. So that you have no choice but to deal with what's in front of you. If you've been hiding or trying to avoid a situation, I just kind of feel like the universe is going to put you on blast. It's like, no, you have to deal with this. And it looks too like whatever you were building here crumbles because you were building something on a weak foundation. Something was built on a foundation of anger, frustration. Something wasn't being communicated well. Whatever's going on, it just seems like, it's like, oh, you're going to have to start over. Let's start over. It seems like you were just getting used to something too. Just as you were getting used to something, you're being forced to go in a different direction. If this is about a job, it could be that you suddenly get fired or quit. Or it could be that suddenly there's a schedule change, or now they're wanting you to move to this department and they're snatching you away from a department that you had just grown used to. Now you got to learn something new. So I feel like there could be some sort of abrupt changes in regards to your routine here. You're very used to something, and then there's this sudden event that puts you on a different path. And I was saying earlier how it looks like you had gotten out of your comfort zone. And so maybe you're just like, but I did get out of my comfort zone. But I don't know, I just still feel like there's more, or that, or it's time to change again. Like something's happening where the universe is just like, nope, like do this over, or like, okay, let's end that. Let's do this now. And something is just kind of like making me think of sandcastles. Like you built this beautiful sandcastle and then a big wave comes and wipes it away. You just have to start over. You're going to have to start over with something. It also seems like there's going to be a shift in regards to your views of something. Like you're no longer going to view something the same way anymore. If there's anything going on at your company that you feel is unfair or unethical, you could be like a whistleblower. Either way, I feel like change has to happen. You're going to have to deal with some sort of inevitable change in your life. Anything that you've been trying to avoid, I feel like you can't outrun it. You can't avoid it anymore. You just have to, confront whatever this is. You're having to deal with something head on. Um, yeah. And I hate to say it too, but there could be a situation where maybe somebody is like the catalyst for the end of a relationship. So in a sense, just kind of like being like a home wrecker or being seen as a home wrecker is kind of like exposing the flaws in something that appeared to be stable or perfect. And it's like it's not, it's far from it. I feel like you're also going to be doing some sort of studying or researching that puts things into perspective for you, or changes your views about something. Yeah, it feels like you're having to put things into perspective. Also, if something is not working in your life, I feel like you're trying to understand why. Why isn't this working? Or why did something come to an end? Why did something not work out? If you're into astrology, I definitely see you looking into your birth chart or studying transits and things of that nature because you are wanting to learn and come to some sort of understanding. It seems like you're also researching or investing time and energy into your work. If you had success with something in the past, you might be trying to figure out what were you doing or how did you get that success before. You're like, how did I do it before? Or if like you had a successful relationship in the past, but you've been experiencing failures as of late, and you're like, what is wrong? Like, why did this relationship work and these relationships aren't working? Why did I have success in my career at this point and I'm not having success now? So I feel like you're really trying to understand why something ended or why something is no longer working. You're learning or having to unlearn something. In a love situation, I feel like there is someone that is looking for you. If you stop talking to somebody or if you just abruptly broke up with this person, I feel like they're trying to understand why. If you've been avoiding someone, I feel like this person is going to force you to talk to them. Somebody could be revealing something on social media. Maybe someone is like being very transparent. You might also find that you need to defend yourself for your beliefs or for, certain things that you believe in. I also feel like you are listening to music to help you heal. Some sort of music is helping you heal. Or sounds even. In a love situation, I feel like somebody is ultimately who's trying to come off as unbothered or tough is going to reveal their soft side or their vulnerability. They're going to open up. They're going to let their guards down. So someone is revealing something to you. And they're like, this is the honest to God truth. This is why blah, blah, blah. So I feel like somebody is trying to explain something to you. Also, if you're trying to grow your finances, I feel like it's steady happening, like there's a steady growth. Now, there could either be a sudden windfall of money coming or a sudden loss of money that's coming up. Now, I'm also getting something about a nosy neighbor, or like a neighbor maybe having beef with you. Especially if you live in an apartment. I don't know if there's been like loud music or stomping. Like, it seems like there could be some sort of frustration dealing with a neighbor. If you are done with somebody, I feel like you mean it and you're trying to move on. And also someone might feel intimidated by your directness or your boldness. It could be very intimidating for somebody. You could either be dealing with an earth sign or an air sign or a Leo. If you block somebody, I feel like this person is going to figure out a way to get you to communicate with them. Maybe they're calling you from an anonymous number, or maybe someone has been trying to push your buttons and they push them until they get a reaction out of you, any type of reaction. Also, if someone was being phony with you or catfishing you, I feel like the universe is going to expose this person for who they are. And then to ultimately whatever initially you feel like is a bad thing, like something ended and you feel like this is bad, I feel like you're going to see that this was actually a blessing in disguise. You're going to see that the universe was actually protecting you or looking out for you. And then for the most part, I kind of feel like anything that you're trying to avoid, or anything that you're neglecting, I feel like it's going to be brought to your attention. It's like you can't ignore this any longer. So something is going to happen that forces you to take action, or forces you to pay attention. And I don't know, that could be in any area of your life. All right, so hopefully these messages help. Feel free to leave your feedback. Thank you guys for watching. Sending you love and grace.